Good evening. This is Jay Blaze from Spar with the Brothers, and I just want to take about 5 to 7 minutes of your time today to talk about a phenomenon that's sweeping this country. A lot of people may believe it's true, some may not. What's that phenomenon? Black people, specifically black men, leaning towards the incumbent President Donald Trump. And you may say, how is that possible? Why would they do that? Well, I'm going to talk about two things today. The first thing would be mindset. The second thing would be at least three fundamental reasons why black men or women would decide to choose Donald Trump as their next president for 2020. And I'm doing this video because, yes, I did vote for Donald Trump in 2016. I could not vote for Hillary Clinton for obvious reasons. But there is a movement of a fair amount of people that I know or interact with that like Trump and may vote for Trump. And it's confusing a lot of people. So we're going to talk about that today. First of all, I like to acknowledge that most people, or I would say everyone, have these either emotions or they deal with things logically. Now, we have the characteristics of both, but we are either governed by logic or emotion. And so what I'm finding here is that the Donald Trump supporters are able to separate their emotions or the feelings when they're dealing with politics and just say, we're going to support this guy because of policy, not because of personality. And that's very important because, to be honest, I didn't know Barack Obama, I didn't know Bill Clinton, I didn't know George W. Bush, I didn't know Donald Trump, and I voted for him. And it wasn't because of their personality. You don't need to have a great personality to get things done. They deal with policies. Policies tell me who you are, what type of policies you talk about, what type of policies you put in place. So let's get into the three tenets that black people, specifically black males, are looking at when they decide to deal with Trump. It may be one, it may be two, or it may be all three. And of course, I know there's more than three, but these are the main ones. The first one would be faith. People of faith, of color, and I know there's a large amount of people who attend churches that don't believe in Donald Trump. But I'm saying the people of faith, faith-based people, are choosing Trump because they want to be able to continue to freely express their belief. They also want to be able to practice their belief. They also want to be able to celebrate their belief. Does that mean that no one else's belief matters? No, it doesn't mean that. That means that in this great country we have the right to celebrate and practice our faith. Notice I didn't say Christianity, I said faith. So that's one of the primary things we like about him. Another reason is family. Family is important, and being pro-nuclear family has its benefits. And so nuclear family, and I'm not knocking any other lifestyles or whatever family you have, but it's proven that in a nuclear family, you're going to be more successful emotionally, mentally, financially, throughout your life. You're going to have a less likelihood to go to jail, you have a less likelihood to quit school, you have more likelihood to be middle class or above. These just living in a pro-nuclear family is the advantage that you can have in this country. And then we talk about finances. Finances, like we want a strong economy. And it's okay to be an employee, but we have people in a movement in the black community, just like the Black Wall Street, which was a movement. It wasn't just in Oklahoma, a movement that we no longer want to be employees, we want to be employers. We no longer want to be the consumers, we want to be the producers. And we need to have an environment, we need to have policies that promote that. And so when you look at some of the things I've mentioned, faith, family, and finances, those are at the tip of the reasons why people are selecting Donald Trump. And it's not an emotional thing. For example, when I hear an emotional thing, something like pro-choice, that's an emotional thing. But when I break down the logic, typically the choices of birth control, the choices of adoptions, or the choices of celibacy is never mentioned. The only choice that's given up is abortion. So under faith, I will put that as a platform that I want to have. And it's the same thing as when we talk about Planned Parenthood. That's a great idea for anyone to become a parent to plan. But again, these are words that evoke a certain emotion and get a certain result. I also hear the emotion of we need change. We need change. Well, emotionally, that sounds great. This country is in turmoil everywhere, from the police department and to whatever else you want to name it, especially with COVID. But is it really change to put someone back in charge that was just in charge less than 4 years ago, who had 8 years to take care of that? So when I hear pro-choice, some people hear it's a woman's body. I hear that the black population is short 20 million bodies. So listen, if you want to call me a coon, if you want to call me Uncle Tom, if you want to call me a house Negro, if you want to call me a slave, if you want to say I'm on a plantation, if you want to say in the words of Joe Biden, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, then you're right, I ain't black. And by the way, if you thought those things, if you said those things, you're being emotional and not logic. Use love to be emotional. Use logic to make decisions. This is Jay Blaze with Spar for the Brother. This is the first, but